Prescott Valley, welcome to the January 10th, 2017 Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. We'll start off by having a roll call. Kathy?
Chairperson Freer.
Here.
Commissioner Brinkman.
Here.
Commissioner Polican.
Here.
Commissioner Gummer.
Okay. We do have a quorum, so we'll move on to approval of the agenda. If everybody's had a chance to review the agenda, offer up any revisions, we can move forward with that. Otherwise, I'll take a motion for approval of the agenda as written.
I think this is an outstanding agenda, and I will make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The agenda passes. Next item of business, approval of the meetings from the November 8th, 2016 regular meeting minutes. If everyone's had a chance to review those, take a moment to offer any suggestions for revisions. If not, we will accept a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for November 8th, 2016. Minutes as written.
Thank you. And second.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All in favor of approving the meeting minutes from November 8th, 2016? Aye.
Aye.
Those pass as well. So we'll move into the fun stuff, announcements. First, before we get into the meat of the agenda, I just want to welcome back Commissioner Buzz Gummer, who is making his second tour of duty, his second 20 years on the Parks and Rec Commission. So welcome back, Buzz. Thanks for stepping up and coming back with us. Good to have you.
Did you write a poem for us tonight, or?
No, as a matter of fact, I'm saving that for the next.
Okay, I thought I'd ask.
That would be February, Valentine's Day.
All right, we're looking forward to that. With that, we'll move on to announcements about Daddy-Daughter Date Night.
Yes, sir. Our annual Daddy-Daughter Date Night registration is open. Activity date is Friday, February 17th. This is held 6 to 9 p.m. over at La Quinta Inn and Suites in their big ballroom. So this is a change in location.
Nice.
For the last several years, we've had quite a bit of a on-call or waiting list for registration, and we will be able to accommodate those needs with this new expanded space there. Those folks are working fabulously with us. Their catering services as well. So we're very excited to be there with these folks that have actually come to the table in working with us there, pardon the pun. There are limited spots available in registration because there is a limited seating capacity. So please visit us online at pvaz.net or feel free to give us a call at the office at 759-3090 to register. The cost per couple is $35. If you have an additional daughter that would like to attend with you, that would be $15 as well. The attire for young people is considered a formal affair, so a dress would be appropriate, as well as our attending dads will be a sport coat or suit with tie. So for some of us, this is a very formal process. So they get out there, dance the night away, enjoy their deli dinner, all kinds of other activities and prizes throughout the evening. It is a fabulous event. So I encourage everyone, again, to register as soon as possible, as there is limited seating for the evening, Friday, February 17th from 6 to 9 p.m.
You know, I think you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I think you have to give a huge shout out to the sponsors that help this event. They come through for you every year. You've always got plenty of prizes, the dinners, everything. I mean, and thanks so much to the sponsors that step up and help. That because we just seem to hammer some of these people for every event in town, and they step up to the plate and they make it a bigger and better event every year.
Yes, definitely our business community out there understands that their participation and contribution enriches this community, especially for these young ladies between the ages of 3 and 12 that are in attendance with their dads on this very, very special evening for them. So tremendous shout out to the business community for their support of this activity and many others. And I know Mr. Peck will talk a little bit more about that as it relates to Polar Bear Splash and that update. But without them, it definitely would not make the evening as fun, especially to see everyone rallying behind and looking at their little tickets, seeing if their number is called out and what prizes are available. And they are fabulous in regards to the excitement that goes on in the evening for those young ladies. So.
Sure, there's lots of daughters looking forward to spending an evening with their dad. Being the father of two boys, I've never had the pleasure of attending, but I'm sure it's a good time.
It's never too late, Pat. You can still work.
Yes, it is.
You have punt, pass, and kicks.
That is true. That is true. Next item is update on Bob Edwards Park ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yes, we're very excited to announce to you this evening. We'll have additional announcements coming out here shortly, but we're scheduled for Thursday, March 23rd, 4 p.m. for the official ribbon cutting at Bob Edwards Park. Prior to that date, we'll have the final installment of a couple of our features there with our Ramada and picnic tables, as well as our restroom. Those are our two last items that are scheduled to arrive. I know the Ramada is scheduled for the last week of February, first week of March. So we're looking forward to those two things and all the activities scheduled there. The additional elements are part of the contractual process and its development. So we'll have a second seating also within the month of March. And then we're anticipating, I did cross my fingers with that, as weather works with us, that we'll be able to open the park fully and completely May 1 with that scheduled athletic activities as well too. But as of right now, the park is open parking lot wise. The playground is very, very well utilized already, which is fabulous. It's fun going over there and watching all of the activity going on with those young people, utilizing the new features that are not found in any of our other parks that accompany that playground here at Bob Edwards Park. So we're very excited about that. So you'll see our flagpole coming on board, a couple of our dedication plaques, those kinds of things, and artwork movement. But in addition, we'll have those things too.
Outstanding. Another welcome asset to the inventory of the already outstanding park system that we have in Prescott Valley. I know, I've received compliments already from coworkers and community members saying that they're already enjoying what they can at the park. So, like you said, the playground and the paths are a big hit. So, all right, moving on. Department update. The director's report. Any additions?
I have no further information to add other than only in tonight's packet is your December. My apologies, typo there on November. Of course, you know that was reported to you last month during our commission meeting. But nothing further to expand upon unless you have questions about my administrative report or any other divisional reports for the month of December.
No comments? Okay. No, it looks good. Thank you, Brian, for all you do. Chairperson's report. As Buzz mentioned, I'd really like to thank the sponsors that help the events possible, especially Valley of Lights, which, encounters tens of thousands of people throughout the holiday season. It really is a signature event for the town and something that I personally have been going to for, 15 to however many years it's been going. I'm sorry. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but many years. And additionally, the light parade and the lighting of the town center that saw record attendance and was also a great community event that got everybody in the holiday spirit. So thank you to our sponsors and to the staff and everybody that helps make things happen and those who participate to make it such a fun time of year for everybody in the community.
Exactly. And those two events are also partnered with the Prescott Valley Chamber of Commerce. They really take the lead on both of those and heading all the events, coordination of volunteers, activities, those fine folks, and again, the continued sponsorship of those. So kudos to the Prescott Valley Chamber, Marnie and her team there.
My wife and I work the 23rd of December every year down there, and this year we had 982 cars come through on the 23rd.
That's great.
It was amazing. It was just bumper to bumper, and we ran out of candy canes in an hour and a half, and it was just fun, just amazing how many. You live here, and we know so many local people, and I think we only saw 5 or 6 people we knew.
That's great.
Many from out of state, out of town, and they all want to stop and say, hey, you did a great job on the lights. And I'm, well, thanks. Yeah, I set all that up myself. So I do take all the kudos. But it's an amazing, bigger year after year after year. And it is just a great event.
Standing.
We got the pleasure to take our family. We took our large vehicle and loaded everybody we could in the vehicle, and just had the opportunity to take, grandma, 3 generations of our family, and enjoy the lights. And it was just an enjoyable process. And their moderation, or their, making everything modern is becoming nice. All those LEDs that they're adding to the current displays. So it's looking awesome.
And it improves year over year for sure, and we really appreciate the fact that it is in our community. Okay, so that's it for the chairperson's report, unless there's more questions. Hearing none. Tree Advisory Board business?
Yes, both Tree City USA application as well as the Growth Award application, we met all of those criteria. Those criteria element items were submitted for both applications. We should be hearing sometime within the month of February. It's a 2-phase process. It has to go through our state forester with their approval and then recommendation to the national office. So once it goes through both of those processes, again, we should anticipate hearing something back within the month of February. If we're fortunate enough to hear it in time for the Park and Rec Commission, we'll be very successful. We'll be in I believe 13 years with Tree City USA status, and then 6 years with growth status there. So look forward to both of those coming through, and we'll have more updates as we move forward. Besides that, I think we talked last month in regards to our planned process. So we'll begin initiating those elements, and then we have scheduled up our annual Arbor Day activities, and that will be scheduled, I believe it's April 28th in doing so. So be ready to go out there. We'll be located over at Bob Edwards Park. We'll be putting a couple of extra trees in there. So we'll be highlighting that facility again.
Absolutely.
Moving forward.
Outstanding.
Looking forward to it. As far as the chairperson's report for the Tree Advisory Committee, I have nothing to add to Brian's report, so we will move on to the next item of business, which is old business. First item on that is update about the Polar Bear Splash that recently happened. Mr. Brady Peck.
This past Saturday, we had a wonderful event, our 11th annual Polar Bear Splash. Commissioner Gummer was kind enough to come and MC the event. Made it enjoyable for everyone. Again, you mentioned our sponsors earlier. Without them, we wouldn't be able to offer such an amazing event for free to our community. I just want to mention some of them real quick. M&M Eye Institute, Cracker Barrel, who provided the breakfast this year, Blackbird Kitchen, Culver's, Home Depot, Earnhardt Kia, and Chipotle. So that's not an exhaustive list by any means of all of our sponsors, but some that were just really great. Some are the first-time sponsors, and we hope to see them back again. If not for Polar Bear Splash, for other events coming up sooner, such as Daddy-Daughter Date Night. We had about 250 participants in the entire event, which the numbers are up. Part of that is attributed to warmer weather than usual for the first Saturday in January. The water was still chilly, 43 degrees, when we had 38 polar bears jump in. So it's always fun watching everyone jump in and scurry across the pool and get out as fast as they can.
So nobody did any laps then, as you're saying?
No laps were swam. A little cold for that. And we did have 13 hairy men compete in our Ice Princess contest. As you can see on the screen, Eric was our winner. And he's got the crown, the sash, and the tutu for the next 365 days. And he says he'll be back next year to defend his title. Other events that we had were the ice cream eating contest. We had games for the kids, crafts for the kids. Just an overall amazing morning for everyone in our community.
Thank you so much for the update and making it happen. I know it's a big community event that is looked forward to every year. So.
A couple comments real quick. Jean Lupa from the radio station KPPV, she does a great job with the Hairy Man contest. she just enjoys herself so much. She goes around and every man she sees, she says, "Show me your chest." And sometimes the men are taken aback, and most of the time they're like, "All right." and she just does a wonderful job with that thing. And the adult ice cream eating contest, the girl was like a 3-time repeat winner, I believe.
Yes, she was. We had very quick consumption of ice cream.
And Brady didn't give her a break because she was even eating the bowl, as a matter of fact, at the bottom. And Brady's like, "I still see some ice cream there." And she was like, "My gosh." And she was eating, had pieces of the bowl in her mouth. Brady finally said, "Okay, I guess you're done." But it was a lot of people had a lot of fun, a lot of positive response. It gets bigger and bigger every year. It's just a fun event. People coming out, they brave the cold, and they have a good time. The duck drop's also another popular, big time, nice prize.
Absolutely great prize
Great
of that.
prize.
It's a $200 gift certificate to M&M Eye Institute towards a pair of men's or women's sunglasses for whoever wins it. You can get a very nice pair of sunglasses for that amount. So we're lucky to have them year after year sponsor that event.
Yep, very, very cool.
Very good. Any other questions or comments for Brady on that? Okay. Seeing none, the next update, Brady, is Open Skate update.
Yes, we have open skating ongoing for the next month at the Prescott Valley Event Center. Concludes Sunday, February 12th, with our last open skating session of the year. Skating fees, it's 12 and under is $2, 13 and up $4, and skate rentals $3. It's a great way to come out and for families to spend an afternoon, an evening, and really enjoy something that's really a treat to have out here in the desert.
Absolutely. Attendance has been great so far, I would
Absolutely. Attendance has been great. We've added evening sessions at the request of the community, and they've been taking off and doing absolutely great. We see higher attendance from the younger kids coming with their parents at the evening sessions. It's more of a family atmosphere, and it's been great to see that response from the community.
The dates and times that are open for Open Skate are available on pvaz.net.
Yep, they're online at pvaz.net. You can also call our skating hotline at 775-3165. It's updated weekly. For the most up-to-date information, again, 775-3165.
Great. Any other questions about Open Skate for Mr. Peck? Thank you, Brady.
Thank you.
Appreciate your updates. Next item in old business is an update on Fain Lake. Mr. Brian Whitty.
Yes, sir. Happy to report everything is going very well. Our little Dutch boy that we've employed at the bottom. No, I'm just teasing. No, our repairs have taken hold very well. I know with not only this last little event of rain we had this weekend, but a couple weeks ago, literally Fain Lake is full, actually overflowing, doing very well. Game and Fish came in, did their little survey and study of water qualities, those kinds of things. We also followed up with our aeration device there within the main body of the lake, functioning well to the point where Game and Fish surprisingly brought in and stocked a fair number of trout in the lake. So there's been quite a few fishermen down there that have taken advantage of that opportunity. Matter of fact, one day I was dodging 3 fly fishermen down there when I was doing a quick little review of the park. So in doing that, also with that information just received earlier this week, they are planning a second schedule of fish for stocking the lake. So they're very confident in where we're at right now and the qualities that are found there. So Fain Lake is secure, ready to go for everyone's enjoyment. We'll be soon following this material up for those repairs with also then our spring addition to the waterfall, because that was another element that was under repair as well. So those services should be complete this spring, if not sooner, and everyone can enjoy that added amenity too, which is also again beneficial for our fishery and doing those things. So beyond that, I know that we've had some additional work done out at Fain Park on our trail system, compliments of our Over the Hill gang out there. And if there's more information, Commissioner Freyer, I know you've worked with them hand in hand on that, but I did want to bring that information to everyone's attention as well, because I'm very grateful and thankful that those folks are able to come out and assist us out there.
As usual, they do an amazing job and get a lot done in a short amount of time. So their efforts are always appreciated. And the Canyon Trail has been completely rerouted now. The old trail has been closed. So we had discussions, Mr. Whitty and I did, about trail signage, and at some point be updating those as time allows in a more current trail map. So.
Exactly. So that should aid in there. We're finding some new technologies and opportunities out there, so we're going to be investigating those, seeing if they can be implemented into that trail signage. So we'll be able to have an electronic brochure, for lack of better description there, that will be either a bar or a QR coded item that would be integrated into those signs. So if you're out there on the trails and you have your smartphone and we're able to put that into play, it should take care of us from those standpoints. So we're investigating that standpoint, seeing if it's anything more than just a PDF trail map brochure that pops up, or what other opportunities are available to us that we'll grow into as we move forward with that. But we definitely know that our trail sign updates in regards to directional arrows, those types of things, especially with the rerouting considerations, so we'll have that all in play, as well as working with our previous grant for our fisheries access trails that have happened there as well too. So things are well in play, well in work out there at Fain Park right now.
Absolutely. And it's a beautiful spot and just the jewel of the community. Okay, next item of business is at the Bob Edwards Park.
Yes, I apologize. We made a little earlier comments in regards to that when we were talking about a ribbon cutting ceremony. But as we know, our playground's installed, very well utilized. There will be some other support elements coming in with some fencing surrounding the playground. So that will be underway and coming forward here soon. As we talked about earlier, our electrical contractor for our sports field lighting was on site, being that the power connections were made, and our contractor for electrical services was on site and completed those tasks. Now the sports field lighting subcontractor can come in and complete those processes. As far as the future goes, we talked a little bit earlier about the Ramada and the restrooms that will come into play. We also have some additional contract-related work that still needs to be done with some erosion control issues and refills, as well as a second seating there at the park. And we're hopefully, again, fingers crossed, anticipating a May 1st athletic field utilization at that point in time. But Mother Nature will drive that, as well as the response of that second seating, so we'll get a little bit more information there. Other than that, I believe, again, as long as our other additional timelines come into play as it relates to the Ramada and the restroom, our park will be complete. Again, anticipating in time for that ribbon cutting, if not soon following, and the park ready to go. So very excited about it. We talked a little earlier in regards to that lighting that's out there, the walking path around, the playground, the rest benches, all of those good things, and it's receiving tremendous response now, and it's probably 30% active. So once the rest of that comes into play, it'll become a very exciting location in doing that. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have related to the progress, but we're literally at a point where I believe a substantial completion letter is underway, and for relaying that to the contractor, a few little follow-up items. But once that second seating is in process, we'll be a go.
Well, I just personally like kudos to the staff and the contractors for doing such an excellent job. It seems, just like we discussed in the past meetings, that progress was made every day you went by there. And, it seemed, I'm sure there were some internal hiccups, not to mention, but it seemed to be a pretty smooth process, and I think it was very well done.
Yeah, it is a very highly visible location, so to watch that progress was very exciting, I think, for everyone. So now we just all need to handle the itch as it relates to getting out there and having even more fun.
Great. Okay. Next item is naming considerations for Granville Unit 6 Neighborhood Park.
My apologies. Yes, this has been a matter of discussion that we've had either in work studies or some other conversations here. You requested some considerations to be brought before you this evening. This does not require any action this evening other than perhaps some recommendations for future process. A couple of the names that have come into play have been Glassford Hill Park, i.e. because of the entrance will be located there at that section, which is again more or less a traditional process that we've had in some of the past naming of our parks. There's been conversation in regards to Santa Fe Park, because that is the park is located at the intersection of Glassford Hill and Santa Fe Loop. There has been some conversation in perhaps considering naming of this particular location Granville Park within the requirement of renaming the existing Granville Park on the east side to Bronco Park, which is its corresponding roadway. And then in addition to that, I know there's been some past conversation in regards to conducting some community surveys. If we wanted to go down that path, we could work within our community relations coordinator and beginning a process, whether it be web or social media driven, in inquiring with our community and their recommendations for that naming, for ultimately then the commission's recommendation in selecting and then forwarding to council for official process.
Yeah, I think I would like to see some community input. We've discussed that before, and we have some names that have been thrown out, but the more we involve the community, the more they're aware of what we're doing. They can kind of visualize it. If we can, I would like to have some names submitted from the community, and then we'll pick what looks good.
Very good. And again, with that process, much like with Bob Edwards, if there's a community member that's been very highly involved and participatory in regards to that process, that should also be a consideration as well that could be put into that mix too. So,
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
I think we're all in agreement on getting some public input on that.
Okay. Very good. I will begin that process, and once we figure out the methodologies that we'll use, we'll come back to you in another commission meeting or two with then those results from that process. So super. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item of business is a CDBG grant update by Mr. Ryan Judy.
Chairman, Commissioners, it's a pleasure to be with you. What do you want to know?
Everything.
Everything. Well, as you are aware, the town was successful in getting a $645,000 grant, community development block grant through, essentially it's through HUD, but it's funneled through the Arizona Department of Housing, which then allocates it to the different communities. We've partnered with the Boys and Girls Club to expand their facility. The past couple of years, they've been on a waiting list after about the third day of school. And talking to Gerald, their executive director, he says this club is kind of unique because other clubs in parts of the states, there's a lot of turnover. You have some kids come one day, they don't come the next. But this club, it's got a very consistent following. The kids that are there almost every day. So with this grant, we're hoping to expand that facility. We're hoping to nearly double the size of it if funding allows. We'll have to see how bids come in. Status-wise, right now we are advertising for an architect that would be able to design the facility. And once they come on board, then we'll really get into the nuts and bolts of what we can do. Can we expand the existing facility? Should it be a second building? That's really going to depend on the topography, the funding that we have available. The request for qualifications for that architect is out to bid now. Those are due by the end of January. And we'll have a selection committee made up of myself, Brian, Kim, our capital projects coordinator, Gerald from the Boys and Girls Club. And then we'll review those applications, and we hope to make an award to our town council by the end of February. And then we'll have approximately a 3-month design window, and then we hope to be out to bid beginning of the summer. Some exciting things that are going along with that is the Boys and Girls Club are actively soliciting donations. They're fundraising. They've already raised, a six-figure amount to go along with the town's grant. Their plan, if again all goes well, is that once the addition is completed, to move the kids into the addition. They've already raised a significant amount of money to be able to remodel the existing building. So you'll probably see over $1 million improvement to that facility and possibly more. We'll have to see how funding and fundraising goes. So it's exciting. We're happy to see it happen. Any questions?
The Boys and Girls Club is really a big thing in our community and really helps a lot of families. And I just want to mention, I don't know if everybody knows it, our audience probably doesn't, but Deputy Town Manager Ryan Judy put in a lot of time and effort in getting this grant, and it's going to benefit a lot of people. So thank you very much for doing that. I know most of that's kind of back in out of the limelight, but thank you for all that hard work.
You're welcome. It's a lot of red tape, but it's worth it. It really is, because it makes a real
this will really
improvement.
be nice.
And that's one club that has been due for a while for
Yes.
updating and servicing the children of the community and everything. It's been long overdue.
That facility's been there a long time. I used to be the senior center.
That's right.
And so it's been through a few iterations of in its lifetime.
Yep.
Well, that's exciting news, and I'll just reiterate what Ron said. Thank you for your hard work in making that happen. That's
You're welcome.
well needed.
Yeah, we're going to be looking forward to that. I think everybody in town will be. And sitting in a park makes it even better.
Oh, yeah.
You bet.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. Judy? Okay. So we'll move down the agenda to the new business. Ryan, we get to hit you up again. Fane Park Mining Exhibit naming application.
Glad to be back. It's been a long time.
Yes.
So
I know that feeling.
you do. Chairman Commissioners, Jerry Munderloh is a longtime community member and has been a longtime volunteer for the town of Prescott Valley and the Prescott Valley Historical Society. In fact, I believe at one point Jerry Munderloh was the only resident of Prescott Valley, and that's because he lived in the Barlow Massix house, which is down in Fane Park. He actually moved into that facility and helped to restore it to its original grandeur, if you will. And over the years, he has been very actively involved in improving that park. He had roles in establishing the original trail system in the park as well. And he also restored that big stamp mill that you see down there and brought in all the mining equipment to create a mining display. Jerry passed away a little less than a month ago. But for his honor, to his honor, we would like to name that mining exhibit in his honor and name it the Jerry Munderloh Mining Exhibit. So that's the purpose why I've come before you today. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions? No, not seeing any questions. I'll accept a motion to name the Fane Park Mining Exhibit after Mr. Jerry Munderloh.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the motion passes.
Wonderful. The Prescott Valley Historical Society has already said they will donate some funding towards signage, so we'll take that step. Per our policy, we have to take that before the town council, and there's a 3-month waiting period. So, approximately in April, early May, we'll take that before the town council for official approval.
Very nice. I think it's an honoring tribute. He personally was my biology teacher in junior high school, so.
And I think that's one of the things in the town we need to really step up and get out there to the public and everything is we have a historical place down in that park, and soon I know that we talked in the past about opening that house for tourism and going through it. And what a great event for schools to take the kids through on field trips and get that opened up and everybody aware of what's down there and the history that's been down there.
And there is someone living in that house, and as soon as she moves out, then it is town property. So we'll be able to turn that into a museum, or maybe the Historical Society can help us in that process. But it's very exciting.
You bet.
Sounds good.
Very good. Thank you so much, Mr. Judy. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a vice chairperson election. Once again, we're crossing this bridge with limited numbers of attendees. However, it's been tabled for 2.5 or 3 months. So at this point, I will take any nominations, seconds, if anyone is interested. Or I'll take a motion to table it yet again until next month. Anyone?
Well, my gut feeling is that we have tabled this, I don't know how many times. If anybody has a recommendation, at this time, I think we ought to move forward. If not, let's table it. But we've probably tabled this, 3 times? Well, maybe even more than that.
We've tabled it twice, I do believe.
Twice.
In doing that. If the commission would so choose to table it this evening, if you'd like me to, I can conduct a survey of potential candidates and then make it an action item in your February commission meeting if you would like. Therefore, regardless of what the attendance is at that point in time, you can make your motions or nominations and motions from that point in time, or whatever direction you'd like to head. I'm here to serve in that way.
So if there was an incident where the chair couldn't be here and the secretary couldn't be here, then you're kind of shut down on your meeting.
Right. We would rely back to the past chair to be able to assist us with that, and that's probably kind of the triple redundancy system to be able to do something that effect. So we would not reach as far back for you.
No, good.
So,
Yeah, I kind of like that, getting some recommendations, and then we will definitely vote on it next time, because elections are coming up.
Yes. So happy to do that. I definitely understand your position and thought on that with 3 commissioners absent this evening, but I will fulfill that request if that's how the commission feels, and begin that process, and we'll have that slate of candidates made available to you for the February commission meeting.
I think that would be good. Do we need a motion to move that
We could
forward?
just table the subject
All right,
if you'd like.
Subject
Yes.
is tabled
Yep.
then until February.
Okay.
Okay, next item is a work study meeting for the annual park tour. Date has been identified as Saturday, February 25th, 2 p.m.
If we can, let's go ahead and try to fill our morning.
Okay.
If it's acceptable to the commission, we'll get a start either at 9 or 10 a.m., concluding roughly around 10. Unless we need to make a change in that schedule, happy to accommodate.
So it was January 25th at
February.
February, I'm sorry.
At 9 a.m.?
9 a.m. works for me. Yeah, 9 a.m.
Wonderful.
February 25th.
Okay, February 25th, 9 a.m.
Right. Is it still acceptable by the commission to move forward with the same parks that we originally had scheduled in October for Bob Edwards, Casa, George Anderson, and Fane? Or if you would like to make updates or changes in that, we can assist in that way too.
I think that would be good to hit the ones we originally planned on with more participation.
Yes, sir.
What would be the meeting location here?
We would gather here, and of course, we'll provide this information to you now that we have the date and time confirmed. But basically, we'd meet here, we'd load up in the van, and then go to those different locations, get out, do a review, discussion, those kinds of things, recording of those activities, jump back in, and just hop from spot to spot. So, okay.
And it's always been a tradition of those tours, usually when we have a guest speaker in the evenings here, which in case would be Ryan Judy, I guess, supplies all the coffee and donuts.
That's perfectly fine. I have no objection here.
That works great.
Depending on being that he's my boss, depending upon what account he charges that. No, I'm just teasing.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe we should just pass that. Maybe I'll bring donuts.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say the newest commissioner's responsible because that would be
Right, I thought about that.
Very good. Very
super.
good.
So
So I will accept a motion to plan our annual park tour for Saturday, February 25th, beginning at 9 a.m.
I'll make a motion to schedule our annual park tour for Saturday, February 25th at 9 a.m.
In a second.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
thank you,
Very good.
commissioners.
Thank you. Okay. Next item is other. Not seeing anything or any unscheduled public appearances. Don't see anybody rushing in from the crowd. So our next meeting will be a work study meeting at the park tour that we just discussed, February 25th, 9 a.m. Our next regular meeting is Tuesday, January. I'm sorry, I will have to look.
It will be in February.
Be
We
the-
know that.
The second Tuesday of
14th.
February, the 14th.
February- Valentine's Day.
Let's say hi, hey. I'm going to
Show
share
the
love,
love.
baby.
Absolutely. 6:30 right here in the auditorium. And with that, our last item on the agenda is adjournment. If I can have a motion for us to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
And a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And we are adjourned.